Welcome to your post-COVID-19 church podcast. This podcast is designed to help your church, your ministry, or your divine calling find improvements as you put out your services online during this lockdown or after this lockdown caused by the coronavirus outbreak. My name is Ikwago Igwe. I am the author of the post-COVID-19 church book, and I am excited to be your host one more time this week. And this week we're going to look at the word feedback. What is feedback? Feedback is defined as the information, insights, issues, communication, and inputs made known to you by your community about their experience with your organization, product, or services. Now, when you look at this definition, you will understand that feedback is beyond getting a one-word reply. Feedback is beyond waiting for someone to make a comment to your post online, to your the product you have put out there. Is beyond that. Feedback is an ongoing conversation, is an ongoing dialogue, is an insight. Your audience interpretation of your message, and that is actually what you need, because without it, you will not be effective with your communication. You will not know the experience you are creating in the mind or in the life of your members. And without feedback, discipleship will not be hitting the point, because at the end of the day, whatever we are doing, it is geared towards making disciples for Christ. All right. So when we do not have feedback, when we don't get this response from our listeners, from our audience, our work will be less effective, because at the end of the day, you will realize that you've just been taking a walk, or nobody has been following, or you've just been talking to yourself while you are online. Why do I say this? Now, to explain this, I'm going to compare our traditional church meetings to the online meetings that we are taking advantage of these days. Now, in your traditional settings where we meet in the four walls of the church, while you are speaking, while you are relating, communicating with your audience, you get to receive the feedback immediately. Because while you are speaking to your people, while you are relating to your people, you get to see their facial expressions, you get to see their gestures, you get to see their body movement, you get to see their body expressions and all that. And it gives you an idea of the kind of experience you are creating with your message. All right. You will know whether you are boring them, you know whether you are making a point, because by the time you see someone yawn while listening to you, you will know that there is something you need to check. All right. So feedback that we receive, it's instant in our physical meetings, and you get to make improvements instantly, because most times at the end of the service, at the end of the meetings, you get to talk with your audience, get to interact, and you get to understand what they are, what their interpretation is, and it helps you make improvements in your communication. But now, compared to now that you are online, you are not seeing your audience. You are not seeing any facial expression. You are not seeing any body movement. So it's as if you are speaking to a blank wall. So what do you do? How do you get this feedback that helps you in your physical meetings? How do you get this feedback now in your virtual meeting, in your virtual broadcast? How do you get the feedback? Now, someone will say, yes, I've been getting my likes. I get comments. I get DMs and all that. But you realize that comments and DMs do not give you a true interpretation of your audience's experience listening to you. Because when you look at the psychology of an average social media user, they are scrolling through, they are on the move, and they give a like to you and they move on to the next thing that takes their mind away from what they just saw. All right, so likes and comments, and okay, when you look at the comments you receive, usually they are single word comments. Amen, preach it, good, thumbs up. Sometimes they give you the emojis and all that. Those are not feedbacks, because you are waiting to get it. They don't give you an insight. They don't tell you a story of their experience. It doesn't give you a picture whether what you did is right or wrong. So feedback is essential. So the question is, how do I get this feedback that I need? All right, so that is where we're going to focus the subject of our discussion today. Now, how to get this feedback is very, very easy because there are tools that have made them easy. Technology has made it easy for you to provoke feedback. Now, before I mention some of these, I would like you to note a few points. Now, number one is this. Feedback is not waiting. Feedback is not effective when you are waiting for the feedback to come. Feedback is effective when you go for the feedback, all right? When you make an effort to get the feedback, when you ask, when you request for it, when you push for it, all right? That is when you get an effective feedback. But when you relax and wait for the feedback to come, it will not be effective. It can't produce the desired results that feedback ought to produce with your operations. Now, that being said, now the tools that can help you get feedback that we can use to produce feedback from what you are doing. Now, I've written a book called Get That Feedback, the ABC of getting effective feedback for your organization. The link is provided at the end of this podcast, or you can visit my website at waterways.com.ng. The book is there. For now, it is free of charge. So if you rush now, you will get it free of charge. Now, in that book, I have broken it down into details on how to provoke or get the feedback that you need. So for today, I'm going to talk about just one tool, which is the tool called analytics. Now, it may sound a bit technical, but it's easy to use if you can just find a way around it, all right? Because analytics helps you to interpret the behavior of your audience, the behavior of your, you can say, consumers or your customers. It helps you interpret the behavior of the people that visit your social media page, your website, your handles, whatever platform, virtual platform you're using. It gives you an idea of their behavior, what they do when they come in contact with you, when they hear you. Now, analytics tells you the kind of device they use. Are they Android users? Are they iOS users? Are they mobile users? Are they using PC? So analytics also tells you whether they are, how much time they spend looking at your site and on what page they spend more time on. So analytics gives you an idea, it gives you a picture of when they come online. When are they usually online? So when you look at these parameters, you will understand, okay, now if I make my post by 2 p.m., it doesn't cut across more people. But when I do it around 8 a.m., because it cuts across more of my audience, because I see that more of my audience are online by 8 a.m. and less are, virtually none are online by 2 p.m. So it guides you on when to put out your post out there. Analytics also tells you that, okay, more of my audience use mobile phones to access me, so I'll have to ensure to make my websites to be mobile friendly. So you see, it guides you and it helps you to make improvements, because one thing is certain: when someone comes to you today and comes to you the second time and sees the same thing he saw previously, the person definitely might not be back again. But when they come and they see improvement, more so when they give you a feedback, when they give you their insight, and when they come the next time and they see that you have implemented what they had discussed with you earlier. So on this note, I'm going to round it up for this week, and I will encourage you to download this ebook and get that feedback. Now, that's the title of the ebook, and it's sure going to help you in a great deal. So thank you for staying tuned with me. I'll come your way again next week. Remember that God is ready to announce you to the world. This is your time to take advantage of technology and reach more people globally. God bless you. Keep believing, keep staying safe. God bless you. Thanks for being here. Cheers.